Zhou Yu, 25 years old this year. Average appearance, timid and cringe by nature. Sex, male. Brother Zhou, you are walking too slowly, let me carry you on my back. On this dry and desolate prairie, 500 men between the ages of 18 and 69 are all staring at the little brother in front of him. These 500 people have the same soul name, Guo Jing. But now the names on their ID cards are different. Some are surnamed Li, some are surnamed Guo, and some are surnamed Huang. Although the labor force of the three villages gathered together, they were actually operated by gods. Zhou Yu was given 500 warriors by a who passed by the earth by chance. No need, let's think about what to do next. Guo Jing said, little brother Zhou, what are your plans? 500 people looked at Zhou Yu quietly. Zhou Yu was timid, and when these 500 people watched him, he quickly lost his mind. Soon Zhou Yu had an idea. Call the police, they are useful. 500 Guojing didn't understand. A Guojing named Li Jing asked, why call the police? Is there a gangster or a beast around here? No. I can't do anything. Zhou Yu picked up the phone with a bitter and weak expression. He quickly bowed his head and typed the number. Although it is an adventure, Zhou Yu is not a person who does great things. He is not smart. May not be as clever as these 500 wooden knots, so it is not whimsical. Hey, police brother! Oh! It's the police sister. Great! I'm in trouble. I'm lost, can you find me? Come and save me, bring more instant noodles and mineral water. Why don't you add my WeChat friends, I will send you a location. 500 Guojing all looked at each other, and soon everyone sat on the ground, waiting quietly. Half an hour later, a police car stopped before Zhou Yu was driving. Why are there so many people? Zhang Gang looked at the group of fierce men in front of him, and quickly turned on the intercom. Come over 10 more. 20 people. The more the better, it seems to be a gathering here. Just as Zhang Gang and the two were observing the situation, a young man happily raised his hand and ran over. Hey! I called the police. Do you have enough mineral water? Zhang Gang and his companions looked at the young man who was running over, opened the door of the car and walked down together. Zhou Yu ran over and said happily, we are lost. It is me who called the police for help. The rest of them don't have mobile phones, but they all carry their ID cards. They are all good people on the grassland. Have you brought food and drinks? Give me some, I haven't eaten for a day. Zhou Yu asked a key question. The hundreds of dollars he has on him is not enough for 500 people to eat and drink. As soon as Zhang heard it, he took out an unopened bottle of mineral water from the car and handed it to Zhou Yu. Where are you from? Why are so many people here? Zhou Yu happily accepted the mineral water, and soon looked at the two police officers with hesitation. Zhang Gang quickly became nervous, this kid has a problem, right? Zhou Yu said embarrassedly, you don't need money for this mineral water, right? Zhang Gang breathed a sigh of relief, and said solemnly, no money. Oh! Great! Zhou Yu quickly happily unscrewed the lid and took a sip of water. Zhang Gang looked at Zhou Yu, and then at the 500 fierce men sitting still in the distance. What's the matter with you? What are a group of people doing here? Are there any reports for hiking? Zhou Yu put the lid on and said embarrassedly, we were planning to go to the south to find a job, but only when we went out and found that the money was not enough to take a car, so we planned to cross the grassland on foot to find some work in the city and then continue walking. Zhang Gang frowned, all job hunting. Zhou Yu nodded quickly, all. Zhang Gang's companion asked, doesn't it cost dozens of dollars? Zhou Yu was very embarrassed, no, they are all poor men. Except for me, everyone else doesn't even have a mobile phone. Zhang Gang glanced over there again, the posture of 500 fierce men sitting together is still very oppressive. Zhang Gang said to Zhou Yu, where do you all come from? Zhou Yu explained, the 500 people in the 3 villages all have ID cards. Go and ask them. This is my ID card. Zhang Gang checked Zhou Yu's ID, and after confirming that he had no criminal record, he said, you call someone here, I'll ask. Good. Zhou Yu quickly called a Guo Jing, and Guo Jing also honestly stated his name and birthplace, and what he wanted to do to work in the south with Zhou Yu to make money. A few teams soon came over from the police station, and even the chief came to check the situation. After all, 500 people were not a small number. Zhou Yu and a group of people were quickly taken to the cafeteria to eat. Although they ate instant noodles in hot water, some of them were good. While eating, Zhou Yu answered the questions of the 5 policemen on the opposite side. How did you meet them? Where are you going? These people listen to you. Have you had any unforgettable experience with them? After an hour of interrogation, Zhou Yu took back his mobile phone. Can you charter a car to take us to the Magic City? After eating and drinking enough, Zhou Yu thought about traveling again. Even if 500 people take the high-speed rail, they are not small. This is indeed a trouble. Considering that the cultural quality of the 500 people is very low, many of them are close to the level of illiteracy, and they can't even use the pen. Soon there was a meeting with the city in the bureau and agreed to send a car to the Magic City. But before going over, do a nucleic acid test first, and then get a local vaccine. After, each person gave a smartphone and 200 yuan for living expenses. 2 days later, Zhou Yu came to the big city with excitement. The Magic City. www.mtlnovel.com. The bus drove into the bustling Magic City. This is the prosperous city Zhou Yu wants. The bus continued to drive, and there were heavy traffic outside the window. The bus continued to drive, and soon came to the front of a high-end, atmospheric building. Madu Haidong Industrial Park. After got off the car, Zhou Yu saw hundreds of people welcoming him. And there was a red banner hanging on the place where I got off the bus. 501 job fair. After got off the car, Zhou Yu and 500 Guojing were soon surrounded by a group of eager people. Operator. No educational requirements. Package education package. 5,000 packages for board and lodging in January. Follow the driver. You don't have to do anything, just sit in the car with the driver. 4,000 weekends in January. Overtime subsidy. Kianda Real Estate. International famous brand. Recruiting security guards, including food and housing, and good treatment. No academic qualifications, easy work. Assembler. 10,000 a month. High-paying recruitment for machinery factory. Loader. Strong can make a lot of money. Electronics factory. There are so many beautiful women in our factory. Recruiting people on the construction site, the monthly salary can easily reach 20,000. 500 Guojing, just like that. Even the police in the Magic City were surprised by the physique of these migrant workers. They were able to work. If it weren't for illiterate literacy, it would be good to hire a few as auxiliary police. The weak and uninspiring Zhou Yu was soon stuffed into Kianda Real Estate together with 5 equally honest elderly Guojing. Sitting in the van of Kianda property, Zhou Yu touched the 200 yuan in his pocket. Am I here to work? But I can't do anything else. Yujing District Kianda Property Security Patrol. Zhou Yu lay flat. Zhou Yu ate a box of lunch in the monitoring room, and started thinking about life after he was full. Being a security guard here for a week, I feel like a waste. But I can't do anything else. Zhou Yu lay on her wire bed and picked up the phone. Forget it, I'll talk about it tomorrow. I'll just be a trash. Zhou Yu lay there playing with her mobile phone. Thousands of people from Kianda property have become accustomed to this young man lying flat. Although this guy can't do anything, nay, he has a very good relationship with the other 5 security guards. He came from the same place. Now the owners of the community are very satisfied with the 5 security guards, so they buy 5 and get 1 free, and they raise a person who doesn't do anything here, but at least he won't cause trouble. Play games, eat, go to the bathroom, sleep, play games every day. Day after day, the police came to the door. What are you doing? I didn't do anything. Zhou Yu looked at the 2 policemen who walked in from the door, and sat up in a panic and said, there is surveillance here. I haven't been out for a few days. Kong Qiuqing looked at Zhou Yu's appearance, it was really hard to understand. Don't be nervous, we are not here to catch you, do you know Guo Chao? Zhou Yu shook his head quickly, I don't know. Kong Qiuqing said solemnly, you think about it again. Zhou Yu said with a bitter face, I don't know him, what does he do, and what does it matter to me? I'm a timid person. If you have something to say, okay. Kong Qiuqing solemnly said, how could you not know him? Let me remind you that you came here together a week ago. Zhou Yu quickly thought of something, again bitterly. But there is more than one person named Guo Chao inside. Those people's names are all 2 characters, and there are more than a dozen named Li Jing. How do I know which one you are talking about? Can't you just explain it directly? Kong Qiuqing said, when Guo Chao saw a brave act yesterday, he rescued 2 children trapped in a fire on the 6th floor while eating at a roadside restaurant. They are now recuperating in the hospital. His mobile phone fell into the fire and burned out. I can't contact you. Let's take you to the hospital to see him. Zhou Yu stood up quickly, and asked carefully, is it okay? Kong Qiuqing explained, it's okay, it's just that my arm was burned. Both the company to which he belongs and the person involved have visited him, but he insists on seeing you. Oh! Captain, may I take a paid leave? Zhou Yu looked at the security captain standing next to the police. The captain said quickly, it's okay, you go, it doesn't matter whether you are here or not. Zhou Yu said with a smile, don't say that, everyone will see you when you look up. It is not the captain who pays him his salary. Zhou Yu feels that he is still appreciated by the manager. Even if Zhou Yu is asleep when he comes to check occasionally, the manager will not say about him. Zhou Yu, who took paid leave, quickly walked out. I will go out first and be seen walking with you. If I misunderstand me and become a bad person, it won't be good. Where is your police car parked? Kong Qiuqing didn't come to arrest people, he was satisfied with this little request, and said, at the south gate. Zhou Yu nodded, and was about to go out, suddenly stopped and turned around to look at Kong Qiuqing. Where is the south gate? In the end, Kong Qiuqing walked out first, and Zhou Yu, wearing a security uniform, followed him more than 10 meters away and quietly followed. Riding in a police car, Zhou Yu quickly said, the profession of security can really obliterate a person's ambitions. I have been able to work for a week, and this person will soon be abandoned. Although Kong Qiuqing and Zhou Yu had just met for a short time, it was difficult to express any opinions on this topic. After all, there was a recorder in front of him. The police car started quickly, and Zhou Yu, who was sitting in the police car, looked out curiously. Although it was only a section of the gate of the community, rumors of a security guard being arrested by the police soon spread from the property complex. The security captain quickly explained in the group, it took a long time to explain the rumors clearly, and restored the positive image of the property. With the help of the police, Zhou Yu soon came to the ward of the People's Hospital. Here, a mature man lying there with his eyes closed and resting opened his eyes and looked at Zhou Yu who had just walked in. Brother Zhou, you are here. Guo Chao was relieved when he saw Zhou Yu coming over, I have been worried about you these days, and I can't get through if I call you. Zhou Yu said embarrassedly, I'm playing a game. The other 494 Guojing were also looking for him, but Zhou Yu, who was out of control, ignored him. Guo Chao said happily, I saved 2 people, and they gave me a bonus, and they gave you both. Guo Chao quickly took out a stack of money from under the pillow, which seemed to be tens of thousands of dollars. Zhou Yu walked over to look at Qian, and said happily, "How much is this?" Under the contemptuous and suspicious gaze of the nurse on the side, Zhou Yu quickly became serious. "This money is yours, I can't collect it." Guo Chao said with a smile, "It's useless if I ask for money. The factory takes care of food and drink, and also distributes washing powder and gloves. There is no other place to spend money." The nurse looked at Zhou Yu even more contemptuously. Zhou Yu felt embarrassed, and sat in a chair on one side and said, "No, you can build a house and marry a wife." Guo Chao said boldly, "I have a house and a wife in my hometown. After I have worked here for a few years, I will go home and reunite with Ronger. 500 people are time limited. Everyone who helps Zhou Yu serve for 10 years will automatically return to the original plane, and the time is the same as when he came, and there are many more techniques learned in this era." Zhou Yu looked at the money in Guo Chao's hand, then surreptitiously looked at the police and nurses aside. "I received it." Naturally it was doubled contempt. Sister Hu quickly said to Guo Chao, "You keep this money for yourself. I think you are so stupid. Anyone who is messy will believe it." Guo Chao looked at the nurse seriously, "Being a man must know what kind of grace I want to repay. Thanks to Xiao brother Zhou, I can come here. This money is something outside of my body to me. I want to repay brother Zhou for his kindness. What do you think is wrong?" The little nurse was watched seriously by Guo Chao, and she suddenly felt out of breath, so she stared at Zhou Yu angrily. "Zhou Yu feels bitter. What's wrong with me? Brother Guo, forget it. You read www.yuyuganshu.com. Zhou Yu didn't want to cause trouble. When there is no one, you can secretly give it to me." Guo Chao nodded and agreed. The little nurse was very angry. "Kongqiaoqing is not easy to say, this is voluntary and not illegal." Zhou Yu thought of something. "How much is the medical expenses?" "It's free." The little nurse said angrily, "Don't worry, you won't be alone. The rescued family has already covered all the medical expenses." Guo Chao quickly said, "My body is already healed, just some ordinary minor injuries. Now that I saw brother Zhou, I will go back to work." Zhou Yu looked at Guo Chao's arm and wrapped several bandages around the forearm. "It doesn't matter to you, right?" Guo Chao said with a smile, "It doesn't get in the way, you can heal in 3 or 5 days." The little nurse said curiously, "Where did you practice?" "I watched the video. You stepped on the window wall from the first floor and flew up to the 6th floor. Good deed, that's amazing." Guo Chao shook his head, "I don't want to be public. Recently, many people have come to me, which is really troublesome." The little nurse said happily, "You are now an internet celebrity. If you open a video account, many people will follow you. This way, hundreds of dollars a day is not much better than a part-time job." Guo Chao said naturally, "I am fine now, and I can learn a lot of useful things when I work in the iron factory." Zhou Yu's eyes lit up, and he quickly said, "Brother Guo, give me your phone. I'll open a video account for you, and we will use this to make money in the future. Don't work." Guo Chao looked at Zhou Yu unexpectedly, "Stop working?" Zhou Yu said excitedly, "Yes. Too tired to work, let's be high-end. As a security guard, I don't necessarily like to eat bear biscuits. But as a security guard, he can't keep one party safe. Every day and night, the phone is charging." "What is charging?" "Play on the phone." Zhou Yu has been a security guard for a week. Don't look at 7 of the 7 days spent lying in the lounge, but compared to the 5 industrious Guojing outside, he is a person who truly understands the way and the essence of security. Can lie down to receive wages, why have to walk around in the community all day, help people take out the garbage, and accompany the old man and the old lady? The 5 Guojing outside, don't think they are the security guards beloved by the property manager and the owners of the entire community, but they can do other things very well, so they can't represent a security guard. Only Zhou Yu can truly represent most of the security guards. 90% of the security guards in the Magic City like to do things that Jing certainly doesn't know. Zhou Yu, who had been lying in the observation room for 7 days, he knew. Zhou Yu is the most competent security guard in the entire Yujing community. Can those 5 Jing be security guards for a lifetime? Zhou Yu can do it. Hidden in the city, the avenue is invisible, the big fool is still foolish. Of course, it may not be possible now. Zhou Yu, like all security guards, likes to watch videos on her mobile phone and watch beautiful women dancing. I didn't get used to it at first, but who would let others push him, all the beauties who twisted their hips and waist. After Zhou Yu got Jing's mobile phone, he smiled happily. Be an internet celebrity. Being an internet celebrity can make a lot of money. If you have money, who is going to be a security guard? If you want to be a security guard, you must not be a good security guard. The little nurse Zhou Yang next to looked at Zhou Yu with a vigilant expression. Are you working as a security guard? Zhou Yu didn't expect that he would say what was in his heart, and quickly said embarrassedly, yes. Zhou Yang looked at Zhou Yu up and down, just like you are still a security guard? What can you do when something really happens? I can run, and I will call the police if I run too far. Zhou Yu was very honest. Although he may not appear in the lounge at all, there is no need for a second option for this kind of thing. Zhou Yang smiled, just like you, are you still a security guard? Honestly, the child is a little scared at this woman of the same surname who may have been a family 1,000 years ago. It doesn't count, but it only costs 5,000 yuan a month for me, and it costs 30,000 yuan a month for the police to be a security guard. The owners are definitely unwilling. It is difficult for them to pay the property fee. Zhou Yang couldn't refute such words for a while, so he said angrily, what's the use of hiring you? Just to find someone to wear security uniforms. Zhou Yu nodded, and said embarrassingly, yes, no matter how bad it is, it's a person. Actually, the patrols were done by a few other people. Now that the property has received 5 cheap and high-quality security guards, Zhou Yu can easily be raised. Buy 5 and get 1 free, but if you don't want this one, you won't be able to buy those 5. It was the same at the 501 job fair. No one paid attention to Zhou Yu, which looked like a waste. But in the end, the organizer still forced someone to take Zhou Yu away, otherwise the face would not look good. There is another woman surnamed Zhou in the room. She is obviously an educated and respectable woman. After seeing that Zhou Yu was so trash, he reprimanded, you are young, what's wrong with you? You have to be a security guard. Then I won't do it. Zhou Yu thought it was nothing to be a security guard. A qualified security guard does not take his job seriously, otherwise he does more and more mistakes, and it is not too easy to get fired. Was strictly controlled and was expelled by complaint. Encountered a problem and was fined and expelled. Enthusiastically, he is still a security guard. Can he be promoted to an auxiliary police officer in this line of work? If you can't find a security guard, then it's okay. How nice it is for you to find the police. What the security can do, the police can also do it. Zhou Yang looked at Zhou Yu angrily, if you don't work as a security guard, what are you doing? Zhou Yu suddenly thought of this. Becoming an internet celebrity is definitely not easy. What if you fail to start your own business? The rent in Magic City is so high and the food is expensive. Suddenly, I quit my job as a security guard. Didn't I have no food, drink, air conditioning, and Wi-Fi? Does your hospital hire security? Zhou Yu looked at Zhou Yang, very embarrassed. Zhou Yang was angrily laughed again, no. Who would hire you as a security guard if you are a thin person like you? Zhou Yu hurriedly said, but I am a security guard now. Our manager also said that our property is also a first-line property of the Magic City, and its reputation is very good. Kong Kuoking, the film policeman next to, said, it is indeed a high-end community, and the house price is 40 to 50,000 yuan per square meter. Guo Chao doesn't like women's attitudes towards Zhou Yu, and thinks these people are too fond of having nothing to do. My body has recovered and I will be discharged from the hospital today. Guo Chao got off the bed directly, stepped on the cloth shoes and stood on the ground. The only thing he injured was his left hand, and this Guo Jing was Guo Jing, who was in his 30s, and was shocked. The security guards at the property with Zhou Yu are both 50 and 60-year-old Guo Jing. Those Guo Jing are easily sought after by old men and old ladies in the community, and many old ladies fought for the opportunity to dance with Guo old men. Brother Zhou, let me go to your work. Guo Chao looked at Zhou Yu. He felt that others looked down on Zhou Yu, so he had to stand with Zhou Yu. www.mtlnovel.com. Zhou Yang quickly said, "Sit down, your hands are not good, what if you bump into it? Manage." Guo Chao stubbornly said, "I'm fine, I'm leaving now. Since someone has paid, then we can leave now." "No way. No way. You left like this, how can I explain to the leader?" Zhou Yang quickly opened his hands and blocked the way to the door. Guo Chao looked at this rascal woman, and felt that this woman was really difficult. Was angry and anxious, and soon Guo Chao went directly to the window on an impulse. His speed is strong and powerful, but he reached the window in a moment, opened the window with one hand and jumped out. "Ah! This is the 7th floor!" Zhou Yang screamed. Kong Qiuqing was also taken aback, and hurried to the window to look down, and felt that he was in a lot of trouble today. But a strange scene appeared below. I saw that the fierce man who jumped down from the 7th floor had fallen on the flat ground, and he was still squatting and standing up straight with one hand. The patients and family members who were walking in the hospital were also shocked. Everyone looked at the fierce man who fell from the sky in shock. Guo Chao didn't have any influence. After escaping, he shouted at the window, "Brother Zhou, see you in the same place." Zhou Yu has also arrived at the window, and yelled, "Don't be the same place. Let's see it at the Eastern District Police Station." "Okay." Guo Chao, the stunner, agreed, and didn't think there was any problem at all. Soon, he escaped under the gaze of hundreds of people. "Law-abiding citizen Zhou Yu, today's lunch is over. There are 500 fools like this." Madu, the Eastern District Police Station. Zhou Yu was sitting beside the flower bed at the door, carrying a box of lunch and eating. There are a few plain clothes around observing. It was definitely not Zhou Yu who was eating chicken thigh rice, but another person who hadn't been there yet. Zhou Yu had just finished the chicken thigh rice and was about to enter the house to have a bowl of egg drop soup, when he heard someone calling him. "Little brother Zhou. Here we are." Zhou Yu looked over and saw one Guo Jing and another Guo Jing running across the road. One is 60-year-old Guo Jing, and the other is 30-year-old Guo Jing with an arm injury. Guo Zheng said to Zhou Yu happily, "Little brother Zhou, I know you are all right." Guo Chao, who was being pulled by Guo Zheng, looked at the men approaching around him vigilantly. Zhou Yu said quickly, I'm fine, you're fine, everyone is fine." "Police officer, can we go now?" Zhou Yu didn't bother to drink the soup, and hurriedly bid farewell to the policeman who was waiting for the arrest. Deputy Director Caoge came over and said to Guo Chao, "Are you okay?" 60-year-old Guo Zheng said quickly, "He is fine, his body is very tough, so the police officer will not worry about it." Caoge looked at Guo Chao seriously, "Why did you jump off the building to escape?" Guo Chao ignored Caoge, but looked at Zhou Yu. "Little brother Zhou, I was the one who caused you. You go first, and the two of us will stay to deal with them." Talking, Guo Chao clenched his fists. Zhou Yu was shocked, and quickly said, Don't do it. These people are good to me, and they care about my food. I just ate." Caoge felt something was wrong, and the people around him waiting for Guo Chao also approached. There are police officers and major headline reporters who have gathered like flies that smell a smell. "Police officer. Don't be impulsive. This guy is so shocked, it will affect the appearance of the city if it really fights. Let's go in and say. Zhou Yu quickly pulled sideways. He didn't know how powerful this 30-year-old Guo Jing was, but he would definitely not be able to escape anyway. Director Cao soon led people into the game. He got the news in advance, and asked someone to confirm the matter. It's not a bad thing that I'm looking for you, it's a good thing, and I'm concerned about your health. Director Cao patiently explained to Guo Chao, and said thoughtfully, would you like to eat? I want to have a bowl of soup. It would be better if I had a drink. This came from Zhou Yu, who was sitting on the side. Director Cao was very upset with this person who ate and drank, but he still said to the person under him, bring him a bottle of drink. To be carbonated. Zhou Yu said politely. Director Cao wanted to say something, but seeing Guo Chao's quiet expression, he could only wait for a while. When a policeman came in with 4 bottles of drinks, he gave each of the 4 people a bottle. 1 bottle of Zhou Yu, 2 bottles of Guo Jing, 1 bottle of secretary. Zhou Yu unscrewed the unified sour plum soup, looked up at the 3 bottles of drinks on the table, and took a sip. Some people have drinks even if they don't speak. Really sour? Chief Cao said, you have done a good thing, and saving people is a good thing, why should you run away? He investigated Guo Chao's ID card and files in advance, and also asked Guo Chao's colleagues and leaders about the situation. This person is not the kind of bad person and has no criminal record. Just jumped off the building and escaped at a disagreement. This social impact is very bad. Is still a patient bravely jumping off the building by himself, which makes it very difficult for them to explain to the society at the police station. Of course, this was not something that their branch was in charge of, but the surname Zhou and this person had agreed to meet here, which was, like deliberately making trouble for him. Guo Chao said directly, I want to go. The people in the hospital and the police wouldn't let me go, so I went through the window. Zhou Yu said happily, I said so. I have told you so many times just now, you just don't believe it, are you okay now? Director Cao gave Zhou Yu a cold look. Zhou Yu quickly looked down at the bottle cap and didn't win the prize. Boom! Guo Chao slapped his palm on the table, his eyes glaring at Cao. Director Cao was watching Zhou Yu, and suddenly the drink bottle on the table flew up. Director Cao and Zhou Yu were shocked, their stools moved back more than 1 meter in a panic. Brother Zhou, are you okay? Lao Guo quickly reached out and supported Zhou Yu without making him too embarrassed. Director Cao was taken aback, and finally stabilized his body and chair. The police next to also looked at Guo Chao vigilantly. What you do? At this time, Lao Guo quickly stood up and said, don't be impulsive, we have a very good relationship with Zhou Xioj. Zhou Xioj is kind to us, everyone sits down and talks. Ahem. Director Cao coughed, okay, everyone can talk about everything, Mr. Zhou, let's talk about it. Zhou Yu looked around blankly. The young policeman reminded, Mr. Zhou, what are you looking at? Do you have any questions? Hey? Oh. Zhou Yu felt a little embarrassed. This is the first time someone called me Mr. Zhou. Why don't you call me Gongjin? This is the nickname that others gave me, Mei Zhou Lang, Zhou Gongjin. Zhou Yu is looking forward to it. Since I have called my husband, is it more cordial to call me Gongjin? The rest are watching Zhou Yu. If this is a cold joke, then it is really not funny. In the room that was already colder, it was quieter now. Zhou Yu looked at these people awkwardly, and said embarrassingly, then what am I talking about? Zhou Yu looked at Caoge very carefully, and Guo Chao also looked at Caoge seriously. Director Cao was watched by Guo Chao, and he was extremely annoyed at this time. Do you want me to laugh? His face was cold. Yu read www.yuyukanshu.com and couldn't smile. I really doubted whether the 3 of them came here to deliberately provoke trouble. Chief. The young policeman next to him reminded him, the reporters outside are waiting. Director Cao snorted, and soon said to Zhou Yu, who was getting more and more angry, Mr. Zhou, we are looking for Mr. Guo because we care about his health. If you have any psychological trauma caused by escaping from a fire, you can also go to the hospital to see it. Chief Cao suspects that Guo Chao has a mental problem? Guo Chao looked at Director Cao. I have no problem with my body and my spirit. If there is nothing else, please let us leave. Zhou Yu looked blank, what mental problem? Director Cao ignored Zhou Yu, who should do an IQ appraisal, and said to Guo Chao, we must leave, and we will not leave you here for dinner. Am I not? Zhou Yu felt that the policemen here were all good people. He gave him drinks when he took care of the food. The first thing he thought of was to find the police. Do you want me to laugh? Old Cao is so anxious. Director Cao looked at Zhou Yu with a smile, smiled again, then looked away, and calmly continued to Guo Chao, I must first figure out your real motive for leaving the hospital, because the nurses and police officers were responsible for your health and did not agree to let you go right away. Guo Chao explained, I am not good at reasoning with women. Since I can escape, I don't want to wait there. The two can talk to each other normally. Guo Chao is not stunned and unable to communicate. As long as both parties ignore the guy drinking a drink, they can still communicate. Is actually not a bad thing in itself. Guo Chao is now a celebrity. Soon the director brought reporters over to interview Guo Caoran, who was okay and jumped out of the hospital's high building at the same time. Zhou Yu soon went out consciously. Director Cao saw Zhou Yu coming out, so he asked gently, why didn't you watch it inside? Zhou Yu said embarrassedly, there are too many people inside. I stand there and have nothing to do. It's awkward. The meal is finished, can I go now? Madu reporters are all urban people who seem to be superior. Zhou Yu feels that the contrast is too obvious. Maybe I don't belong to the interrogation room. Director Cao said with a smile, what's so awkward about this? Isn't it a good thing? Zhou Yu looked honest, and looked at Director Cao's aggrieved look, and said, I didn't feel anything when I ate and drank water. After suddenly I had nothing to do, I found out that there was a place for interrogation of prisoners. Director Cao solemnly said, it's a conversation room. It's all the same, whoever is here if there is nothing to do. Zhou Yu felt that there was no difference, could it be called, not a torture room in English? Director Cao didn't want to explain the difference with Zhou Yu, and said directly, wait for him to come out and take him away. Zhou Yu refused to take Guo Ge. This Guo Ge is definitely not the orthodox Ge Guo. This stubborn and irritable character is more like the bitter Guo Ge in some versions. It's stupid not to write bad Guo Ge, some versions of Huangrong will not be so easy to be hooked away. What should I take him for? I can't afford to support myself. Comrades, you can do it yourself. I'm leaving now. Director Cao quickly said, how can this work? People know you, who do you not take care of? Director Cao also noticed the appearance of Guo Chao. When it is normal, it is really normal, but when it is abnormal, the destructive power is definitely not small. Zhou Yu looked at Director Cao cautiously, you don't want me to be responsible, do you? If he does bad things, will you trouble me? Director Cao was speechless suddenly, and suddenly realized that this person's IQ may not always be low, and occasionally there are ups and downs. No, how could it? Are you friends? Director Cao said with a smile. Zhou Yu quickly said, no, you send the police to watch it yourself. We are just ordinary personnel relations, and the family tree accounts are different. If he does good things or bad things, he won't look for me anymore. Although the 500 Guojing were all good people, it was too troublesome to take care of them. Zhou Yu didn't want to get into the bureau every other time. He was not a policeman. Director Cao explained, he listens to you, who I won't find you to find. You calm down first, and we won't harm you. Zhou Yu was anxious, and said to Director Cao anxiously, do you want me to laugh? Director Cao felt that he should have said this by himself. Seeing that Zhou Yu was so ignorant, he would immediately take a defenseless posture of reprimanding his subordinates to say what was in his heart. But one arm touched Director Cao's shoulder. The tremendous pressure made Director Cao startled all over, as if his life had been held in the palm of his hand by the other party. Director Cao stiffened in place, even afraid to turn his head. Soon the man released his hand, and said as if he was an old man, little brother Zhou, Director Cao, don't get me wrong with Guo Chao, this person is fine. Furthermore, Zhou Xioj is very kind. Although Guo Chao is stubborn, he is not a person who will do harm to the world. Director Cao only looked at the old man at this time, and realized that there may be more than one Superman like Guo Chao. Be good. Where did these people come from? Zhou Yu still doesn't want to worry about things. At first I thought it was okay, but now I feel that this is not a good thing, it's too much trouble. Guo Zheng said with a smile, separation is naturally not a good thing, but you can see that Guo Chao has done a good thing and you get money. It is useless if we ask for money. One person gives brother Zhou 100 yuan a month, that's how much? Zhou Yu's eyes lit up, 100 for one person, 10 for 1,000, 100 for 10,000, and 500 for tens of thousands. There are tens of thousands a month, and as long as I lie down, I can earn tens of thousands of income every month. Is this a demographic dividend? Director Cao thought of one thing, and said to Zhou Yu, you didn't mean to be a high-end thing all day, right? Zhou Yu quickly said, if you don't do it, I'm not suitable for that. Since lying flat can earn tens of thousands a month, why do you still want to be an uncertain influencer? I heard people say that internet celebrities also have to endure hardship, and not every internet celebrity can be popular. Director Cao persuaded, it's definitely correct to give it a try. It's better than being a security guard. It's better to register and just go to the police station in the district where your community is located. It's too much trouble. Zhou Yu was not a thoughtful person, and quickly said, I will call back to inform the rest. From now on, I will give me 100 yuan a month. If you have anything to do, please go to the police. I can't do it. 100 yuan a month, it is regarded as the rent for traveling to this world. Zhou Yu does not intend to bind the life freedom of 500 Guo Jing. These people give 100 yuan a month. It should be very simple, right? Zhou Yu thinks that if one thing can be easily done by him, then the rest of the people will be the same. Wait. There are other people. Director Cao was shocked, they are all the kind of people inside. Zhou Yu explained, there are 498 more. I will build a WeChat group next time and pull them all together. From now on, I will receive 100 intermediary red envelopes every month. Zhou Yu's face is full of beauty. This terrified Director Cao, 498. All Kung Fu. Director Cao looked at Guo Zheng, then at Zhou Yu, then at Guo Zheng, and finally at Zhou Yu. This is a difficult selection process. Guo Zheng is able to talk normally. Zhou Yu will tell the truth. Zhou Yu's preface does not follow. Guo Zheng has something to say and refuses to say. I chose to choose, and finally I looked at the breakthrough of the information that although the words were loose, but the truth was told, at least it could be spelled out like a jigsaw puzzle. Zhou Yu said embarrassedly, both are better than me. You can also martial arts. Director Cao was even more shocked, and took a step back and looked at Zhou Yu in surprise. Zhou Yu smiled embarrassedly and said, no, I'm an ordinary person. Guo Zheng didn't want Zhou Yu to lose face too much, although it felt almost the same, unless this person didn't speak. Even if he doesn't speak, just sitting there and looking around drinking juice, he doesn't look like not a smart person. We are all from the mountains, we don't know much about things in big cities. Brother Joe has a lot of knowledge and people are real. Now is not the time to speak brute force. It doesn't matter whether we can use martial arts. Director Cao felt his scalp numb. When he thought of 498 such people, he felt that these people were controlled by a young man with a brain problem. It was really a headache. You can create a group, put me. I will find someone, and you will let him join the group. Chief Cao can no longer sit back and watch, otherwise it will be no small matter if something happens. Zhou Yu curiously said, will he send me red envelopes when he joins the group? Yes. Director Cao also didn't want to pay 100 yuan a month, so just give it, just treat it as a nursing fee. Zhou Yu nodded, and asked in a very real way, then he will grab the red envelope after joining the group. Director Cao said angrily, if he snatches it, I will fire him. Are you satisfied? Zhou Yu looked aggrieved, I didn't say anything. Director Cao is too lazy to care about Zhou Yu, he needs to talk to his superior about this matter. At this time, Zhou Yu thought of something, and suddenly said curiously, why are you letting others into the group? This. Director Cao thought Zhou Yu could understand, Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com, but if some things are said, it will change the taste. In fact, even if this group does not enter, as long as he cares about Zhou Yu, he can supervise all Zhou Yu's groups. However, Zhou Yu did not have a WeChat group or chat group. Before Guo Chao arrived, they investigated the connection between Zhou Yu and Guo Chao. Then all the evidence proves that Guo Chao and Zhou Yu are not in contact, at least not on the mobile phone. Zhou Yu's mobile phone has also been investigated, and there is no way to prove anything other than that Zhou Yu is not that Zhou Yu, but an abandoned house with a high-intensity mobile phone to play games. I will introduce you to the job, where there will be a shortage of people in the future, and the enterprises in our district need people to do things again, so I will contact you. Director Cao said with a smile, it is not my subordinate who went in, but the community contact person in the nearby community, the Human Resources Office. Zhou Yu nodded, as if he understood, but also as if he didn't understand why this happened. That's right. Zhou Yu thought of something. He looked at Guo Jing on the opposite side and said curiously, who are you? 500 Guo Jing, temperament and similar names, how can Zhou Yu remember? Director Cao was shocked suddenly, his back became cold. They don't know each other? Fuck. They don't even know each other? Guo Zheng smiled and said, my name is Guo Zheng, brother Zhou, we are all working as security guards at Qianda property, have you forgotten? Oh. Oh. Zhou Yu said happily, I remember. We are together. Director Cao stared at Zhou Yu with wide eyes. Is this going to send someone to do an IQ test for this guy? Mr. Zhou. While Zhou Yu was talking to Director Cao and Lao Guo, a man shouted with a smile on his face. Zhou Yu looked at each other, but didn't recognize him. Plain clothes. Zhou Yu thought it was a plainclothes policeman. Chief Cao quickly denied, no, who are you? After being questioned by Director Cao, this urban youth in his 30s gave an honest account. Said one after another, I am a media person who makes short videos. I heard that Mr. Zhou wants to make short videos with Mr. Guo, so I came to ask. My name is Succession. Zhou Yu became anxious after hearing this. These people don't help people keep secrets. You have no credit at all like this. I didn't say I want to make a short video. Director Cao, I told you about this, how? Zhou Yu was very angry, but after speaking, he noticed Director Cao's clothes and became a little scared. Director Cao frowned and looked at one after another, how did you know he was going to make a short video? Lao Guo was watching, Director Cao must give Zhou Yu an explanation, otherwise Director Cao felt that people like Lao Guo would be difficult to deal with. The news media can always get first-hand information the first time. Said politely one after another, I listened to what the people in the hospital said, and the Mr. Guo inside is so powerful, it's a shame not to be an internet celebrity. Director CAO said impatiently, don't get in the way here, get out. Said quickly and politely, okay, I'm waiting outside, Mr. Zhou, if we two cooperate, we can definitely make a fortune, and I can make you popular quickly. Director CAO looked towards one after another, and soon went out obediently one after another. Director CAO is more concerned about Zhou Yu, who has 500 hunks in his hands than any other media. Even if these 500 people go shopping together, there is enough for him to eat a pot. Director CAO took the two into his office and asked about things straightforwardly. Where did you find 500 martial arts people? Zhou Yu was not stupid, and explained, the 500 of them are people from the grassland. They come from 3 villages. They are all people who are not old, not young, and have no wives, children, parents and brothers. They stay in their hometowns. It's okay, so come to the big city with me to find a job. Hiss. Director CAO's eyes widened, and he took a breath. 500 neurotic middle-aged hunks with no father, no mother, no wife, and children? Isn't she a nuclear bomb swarm? Tell me about this carefully and tell me honestly. Director CAO got serious, this guy might be able to get him down. Zhou Yu was anxious, I can't explain it clearly, and I don't know what's going on. Check it yourself, don't ask me everything, where do I know? Calm down. Calm down. Take your time. Director CAO didn't want to irritate this person, would you like a drink? Zhou Yu stabilized a little, and said, I just drank it, is there a Nutrition Express? Chief CAO walked to the door and called a policeman to buy Nutrition Express. Within a minute, a young policewoman brought a bottle of Nutrition Express, which obviously drank it herself. Director CAO said to the policewoman, buy some more food, can you get a burger? Director CAO looked at Zhou Yu. The policewoman also looked at Zhou Yu. Zhou Yu said quickly, no, I'm not hungry or thirsty, I can just drink some hot water by myself. There are women, Zhou Yu always wants to pretend to be a decent person, and also thinks about her own image. At this time, Guo Zheng said, I know more than Xiao Zhou, what does Chief CAO want to know? Director CAO looked at Guo Zheng and asked, what are you doing here? Make money and learn technology. Guo Zheng's answer is very concise. Director CAO asked again, why do you all have no wives and parents? Guo Zheng replied, yes, but not many. We live in border areas with harsh environments. We are Han people living in ethnic minority areas. They are all proficient in Mongolian and Han languages. Director CAO always thought that these people were illiterate, but he didn't expect that these people could speak the language of the prairie. Then what are you doing here? Can't you be an interpreter in the prairie city? Zhou Yu quickly said, it's a lot of money here. Although Zhou Yu said this, CAOGE couldn't refute it. Director CAO quickly continued to inquire about related matters and consulted with his superiors. However, this matter has been discussed a long time ago, so I got a reply soon. Director CAO said in a complicated mood, it's okay, people in various companies are very satisfied with your fellow villagers, and want to ask for more. Zhou Yu saw that she was all right, and said happily, this is the demographic dividend. Forget it, let's go. Director CAO waved his hand, indicating that the two of them can leave. Zhou Yu didn't do anything, but he didn't hold back either. 500 Guojing are all the kind of hard-working and not afraid of tiredness, so even after only 7 days, they have successfully obtained the recognition of their respective companies. Dozens of companies said no problem, so the police naturally did not persuade these people. Zhou Yu and Guo Zheng walked out the door of the police station soon, and as soon as they went out, they saw Guo Chao talking with a beautiful woman. Guo Chao saw Zhou Yu coming out, so he walked over and said, "Brother Joe, you have come out, let's go back. I just received 30,000 yuan in my mobile phone. It was transferred to me from the hospital. Let's go to the restaurant." Compared with the money in the phone, Zhou Yu is more curious about the beauties next to Guo Chao. www.mtlnovel.com. Guo, who is this? The people around the beautiful girl came over and said, "She is an unknown internet celebrity." "Mr. Zhou, what do you think of the cooperation I said?" Zhu Wan said this one after another, and said angrily, "I am an unknown little internet celebrity, what are you? How many of the 200,000 fans are real people?" Guo Chao has been waiting for Zhou Yu for a long time, and said directly, "Let's go to dinner, these two people have been bothering me all the time." Zhu Wan couldn't care about it, and said softly to Guo Chao, "Big brother Guo, what's the matter with us? Let me add your WeChat, okay?" Guo Chao doesn't look at Zhu Wan at all. No matter which version of Guo Ji, he is not the type that will be confused by female sex, unlike Zhou Yu, who cannot control his eyes. Zhou Yu's nasty eyes soon appeared on the beauty's face, chest, jingle cat. The look of wanting to see and pretending to be serious, secretly watching, made old Guo shook his head straight. "Don't bother me. You girl, why don't you know your self-respect?" Guo Chao is angry, this girl is entangled in endlessly, so annoying. "Ah, don't be angry, let's go eat." Zhou Yu wanted to add the beauty WeChat. But he dare not, he is timid. The beauty Zhu Wan was very angry, and quickly picked up the mobile phone wrapped in a cute leather case and pointed it at Guo Chao. "You bully people! Are you? You murder me! Family! Look at it, this is the brave Guo of our magic city!" Boom! Guo Chao raised his foot, and kicked the beauty's mobile phone away on one knee independently. The beauty of the beautiful flower faded. Zhou Yu was shocked. "Broken. This is a high-altitude parabolic. Let's enter the game again." "Broken. This is a high-altitude parabolic. Let's enter the game again." After Zhou Yu was shocked and confessed, Guo Zheng, who was on the side, looked at the phone kicked by Guo Chao to the sun, and quickly captured the route. Lao Guo walked to the open space in front of him, and after waiting for more than 10 seconds, he reached out and received the phone. He handed the phone to Zhu Wan casually. "Girl, return the phone to you, please don't follow us." Zhu Wan was frightened, and seeing the lost cell phone and Guo Chao's gloomy face, she stiffly took the cell phone. Zhou Yu found something and quickly whispered, "Let's go, hurry up. The police behind have been watching us for a long time." Saw Zhou Yu as the principal one after another, and said, "I drove over, where are you going? I will see you off." Zhu Wan reacted and said, "I drove here too, I really want to cooperate with you." "What is the cooperation?" Zhou Yu said curiously, and said to Zhu Wan. "There is no way, some people are so spineless, they can't walk when they see a woman." Zhu Wan had already noticed the look in Zhou Yu's eyes, but she didn't regard this person as a human just now. At this time, after Lao Guo gave a performance, Zhu Wan looked at Zhou Yu eagerly. "Hello, my name is Zhu Wan, can you also martial arts?" Zhou Yu said happily, "My name is Zhou Yu, I don't know Kung Fu." I wanted to say that I would, but was persuaded. Didn't even have the guts to be a liar. After finished speaking, the whole person became negative, perhaps because of the consciously embarrassing relationship in front of the beautiful women. Zhou Yu just wanted to disappear quickly. Zhu Wan curiously said, "What is your relationship with them? Are you relatives?" Zhou Yu replied, "Friendship." One after another looked anxious. "This kid, haven't you seen a woman?" "Mr. Zhou, I'll treat you, let's go to the business club tonight. There are so many beautiful girls there, you can choose anyone to chat with you to relieve boredom. Let's go there to talk about cooperation." Launched decisively one after another, quickly dismantling Zhu Wan's advantage as a female. Zhou Yu's heart moved. He hasn't been there in his life, he really wants to learn more. Just for a moment, Zhou Yu had always looked at girl Zhu Wan's breasts, so she moved away, and she never meant to go back. The next moment, although Zhou Yu glanced at Zhu Wan's chest again, several people around knew that Zhou Yu's heart had sublimated. What cooperation are you talking about? Zhou Yu asked curiously. Everyone around knows that this guy is acting sternly. Said with a smile, let's get in the car, and the car said, it's good for you, me, and brother Guo. I won't go. Guo Chao knows exactly what those places are. There are many male colleagues around him, and male colleagues always like to talk about some topics. Guo Zheng also didn't want to go, and said, I have to go back to duty. Then I won't go either. Zhou Yu wanted to go, but didn't dare to go alone. Anxious one after another, Mr. Zhou, do you have anything to do at night? What happened to us men, going to sing and drink? Zhou Yu shook his head, and said embarrassingly, I am a timid person, afraid of being taken away by the police again. He is sincere. What's the matter? Said one after another, we just drink and sing. When we go there, what are you afraid of? Zhou Yu is not a pity this time, and said, if you don't go or not, what's good about formal occasions? Grass. In a hurry, has this guy really never been? Guo Chao looked at Lu impatiently, just say anything. Zhu Wan saw this, and quickly said, I'll talk about mine first, as long as you are willing to shoot a video with me, I will give you 10,000 yuan an hour. Zhou Yu was taken aback, and said anxiously, taking a video? What video? Zhu Wan felt sick when Zhou Yu looked at it. I didn't talk to you. You shut up. I'm overjoyed one after another. Sure enough, Guo Zheng and Guo Wei both frowned and looked at the baby girl. These two people are not like Zhou Yu's waist. Zhou Yu's parents, really harmed Zhou Yu's name. You have no respect for Mr. Zhou, do you have some talk? No more talk. One after another happily came forward for Zhou Yu. Zhou Yu felt very useless, but didn't want to change anything. Forget it, go home and play on your phone. I'm leaving, you guys keep fighting. Zhou Yu walked towards one side of the road after finishing speaking. After seeing them one after another, he hurriedly said, Mr. Zhou. Mr. Zhou. As long as you persuade Guo Ge to live with me for half an hour. No, 10 minutes will do, I will give you 20,000 yuan. Zhou Yu stopped and looked at Lu suspiciously, really? Quickly took out his cell phone one after another, I will transfer the money to you now. Absolutely true. Only 10 minutes. Zhou Yu quickly took out his mobile phone, 20,000 yuan is enough to go out and rent a good house by yourself? If you have a house, you can buy a silicone doll by yourself, and you don't have to be afraid that there will be no place to put it. Zhou Yu dare not, and can only use reasonable means to experience the life that others can easily enter. Yu reading www.youkansha.com glanced at Guo Ge before the transfer, and saw that Guo Ge was unhappy, but he didn't say anything and he was at ease. I look good. 20,000, this is my sincerity. Said loudly one after another, there is no need to go anywhere else, let's live broadcast it here, I will use my mobile phone to broadcast the live broadcast, and Guo Ge just waits and says a few words to me. Zhou Yu looked around, someone is passing by here, or on the side of the road, is that okay? Arrogantly one after another, it's okay. What is the most important thing about being an internet celebrity? It's shameless, and it's enough to get hot. As long as someone looks at it, I can bark as a dog. Zhou Yu said curiously, then do you learn how to bark a dog or bark? Of course it's. Said smoothly one after another. After finished speaking, the shameless cheeks that had been thought to be shameless turned red in an instant. The fragility of a man is often an inadvertent moment. Scene, embarrassing for a moment. Okay, I will open a live broadcast, don't get in the way of that girl, I am not paying you to buy data for you. Successively spread the anger on the beauty. Not everyone is accustomed to beautiful women, there is always a group of people who want to make money all day and get ahead. Zhu Wan quickly said, I'll buy it too. That week, you also sold me 2 of them for half an hour, and you'll give you 10,000. Guo Zheng and Guo Chao both looked at Zhou Yu and waited for Zhou Yu to make a decision. Zhou Yu said angrily, You can't even remember my name? You can't remember such a memorable name, Zhou Yu, do you look down on me? Zhou Yu is such an easy to remember name, how could it be impossible to remember? This woman is too bad. Zhu couldn't smile, but under the prestige of the 3 big men, he still knew he was afraid. Refers to Guo Zheng, Guo Chao, one after another. Although Zhou Yu wears a security uniform, it is well known that this is not scary. Hey! Zhu Wan turned and left angrily. Be sure to write a small composition after you go back. I want this security guard who wears Qianda's real estate service to apologize and let him die. The only thing she is not afraid of, naturally becomes the only one who bears grudges. But her arrogant appearance, some people can't stand it anymore. Sharp! Successively cursed in front of people. Zhu Wan turned around, looking at Lusuu with anger and resentment. Was completely a man one after another, and said directly arrogantly, What are you looking at? I'm not satisfied. Zhou Yu looked at this scene in surprise. Not far behind them is the police station. Are all the men so brave now? Still. Am I too useless? Zhou Yu looked at one after another, then at Zhu Wan, who was quick to leave, and Guo Zheng and Guo Chao, who had a faint expression. I was the only one. Zhou Yu can only comfort herself. She is an educated person. These 3 people are vulgar. They don't know how to be polite to women, and they are definitely not welcomed by girls. Wait a minute, I will call my partner, it will be more popular. Thought of happy things one after another. Zhou Yu also thought of sad things. It seems that he is the only one here who has never touched a woman. Hiss ugh. Guo Zheng looked at Zhou Yu, why brother Zhou sighed. Zhou Yu shook his head and sighed again, I thought of sad things. Guo Chao said, if there is anything troublesome with brother Zhou, just say it straight, we will definitely help you solve it. Zhou Yu shook his head again, it's not easy for you, don't care about me, I can just go and play on my mobile phone. Let's go to dinner later. Both felt that Zhou Yu had a major life experience, and they understood that Zhou Yu was alone. Zhou Yu quickly sat in the corner of the flower bed by the roadside and played with her mobile phone. Within a few minutes, the wives who were nearby also came over, and they were still driving a red car that Zhou Yu couldn't see, but at least he couldn't afford it. Hello, 2 big brothers, I am one after another, Lu Xiang. Lu Xiang is a beautiful woman who is less than 30 years old, very enthusiastic and well-shaped. Said proudly, this is my wife Lu Xiang, she is from the flower shop. I usually make some short videos when I'm fine, and I make a lot of money. LV Xiang said, I have nothing to do, just find jobs, and support the family to make a little money. Where are the 2 big brothers from? Zhou Yu was able to hear the conversation over there, and poked her head out of curiosity and glanced over there. After seeing the beautiful woman Lu Xiang, she felt very uncomfortable. So he didn't want to go out even more, sitting here quietly and playing games, as if he hadn't heard the conversation over there. More than a minute later, Lu Xiang came over. After searching for a bit, he found a young man in a security uniform. Lu Xiang said quickly and enthusiastically, Brother Zhou, why are you sitting here? Brother Zhou is as if he has never seen a woman. After raising his head, he quickly looked down at the phone and said, I'm fine. Just rest here. You can go live. LV Xiang watched Zhou Yu sitting on the edge of the flower bed, he also sat on the edge of the flower bed, squeezing his towards Zhou Yu. Big brother Zhou, you also play games? I also play this, but the level is too bad, Only star Yaoer, what rank are you? King, right. My golden two. Facts have proved that it is difficult to praise a waste. Liu Xiang smiled and said, how can it be so low, Brother Zhou, are you a trumpet? The big tier must be very high. No, I'm just a number. Liu Xiang continued to smile and said, that means that the season has been reset. Brother Zhou must have just played few games this season. I have played more than 400 games this season. Every time I get promoted, I always encounter rubbish. I just can't make it. I have been losing several times all night, but I can't drop the rank. Liu Xiang continued to smile and said, it's bad luck. It must be bad luck. It always matches the junk schoolboy. Zhou Yu scratched his head, embarrassed. He obviously took it seriously. Brother Zhou, what are we doing sitting here? Go out and have a look, come. Liu Xiang pulled Zhou Yu to his feet, and quickly pulled Zhou Yu, who was not physically strong, to the outside. Outside, performances have started one after another. Brothers! Look, this one next to me is the unsung hero who saved people from the fire this time, Guo Chao. Zhou Yu looked at Liu Su, and felt a little embarrassed. He continued to work there. What does it mean to stand with his wife? The conscience found that Zhou Yu, who was perhaps the timid, reluctantly left Liu Xiang and walked to Guo Zheng. Liu Xiang saw it, but she didn't care. She was even more concerned about whether the 20,000 yuan was really worth this time. It's not easy to think about fire these years. Some people spend more than 1 million yuan and they are just like birds. Liu Xiang and many people have studied it. If you want to get hot, you have to catch hot spots. Although the team is also very important, it is more luck. It depends on whether you can catch the hot spots and find the right way. Once you find it, you will become an internet celebrity. You can buy the house in this magic city at random, earning tens of millions of dollars a year. Soon followed Guo Chao on the same screen, and then pointed his mobile phone to Guo Zheng and said, Brother Guo, can you show everyone Kung Fu? Everyone wants to see if you really know Kung Fu. Guo Zheng is silent, his temperament is not a person who likes this kind of juggling. Said anxiously one after another, Brother Guo, please move, the big guys want to see it. Guo Zheng still doesn't want to move. At this time, he hurriedly looked at his daughter-in-law. He didn't call her daughter-in-law to come over to warm her up, but to let her help control the center. Liu Xiang saw the successive eyes, and quickly walked to Zhou Yu's side. Brother Zhou, please persuade Brother Guo. Zhou Yu felt that Guo Chao was not suitable for acting, so he said to Guo Zheng, Old Guo, you stepped on a slab in the past, remember not to show your face, wait for the guilt of destroying public property, I will help you. Guo Zheng smiled and walked over, and one after another quickly pointed the phone at Guo Zheng's feet. Brothers! Brother Guo doesn't want to show off martial arts in front of others. Everyone knows that he escaped from the hospital. They are all considerate, but today we have a master with Brother Guo. Master, what is the relationship between you and Brother Guo? Guo was asking Guo Chao about this matter. He felt that the two people looked alike. Old Guo smiled without saying a word, and then pointed a finger at the checkered floor tiles under his feet. The camera was aimed at Lao Guo's feet, but he quickly took pictures of the people and scenes around him to prove a specific time and place. Lao Guo didn't make much movement, just a little bit, and the thick floor tiles under his feet quickly appeared a lot of cracks. After stepping on a brick, Lao Guo retreated to Zhou Yu's side. Hey! This is really not a special effect. I swear by my parents, daughter-in-law, and future children, this is absolutely true. Knelt on the ground one after another, holding his mobile phone to take a close shot of the crack that just came out. He said loudly, fuck! It's really hot. This crack is still hot. Everyone, look at it, it's still a footprint. I swear. It's absolutely true. www.mtlnovel.com. It's really not special effects. This is the police station behind me. If it's fake, I'll go in. It didn't take long for them to be taken to the game one after another. What are you doing? Director Cao scolded several people with dissatisfaction. Although he received a round of scolding, the hard money he gave one after another was not recovered. Rose by 50,000 fans in 2 hours, smiling from ear to ear. Zhou Yu had 20,000 yuan, and he was happily thinking about how to spend the money. How much money is appropriate to fill the game card? Successively exchanged contact information with both Liu Xiang and Zhou Yu, but the two Guo brothers didn't want to have any more entanglements with these two people, so they refused in person. As soon as the 5 people left the police station, they saw a group of internet celebrities and ordinary citizens with mobile phones shooting something around the shoe pit. This is the internet celebrity. When you find a piece of meat, it stings like a fly. If you slow down, you can only eat shit. Smiled and commented one after another, he is a successful person who can eat meat. With the spread of the video and the follow-up of other video owners, the attention of his mobile phone is still rising. Was about to say something, he smiled and looked to the side, but he couldn't find Zhou Yu and the other two Guo brothers. Where are they? Looking at Liu Xiang in surprise one after another. Liu Xiang was looking at his mobile phone to find out how much his 50,000 real fans could earn each month. At this time, he looked aside after being reminded one after another. Hey! Where's the person? Liu Xiang couldn't find the 3 people. Nima. He cursed at Liu Xiang one after another, but the anger became more intense. You're numb. Did you come here to play with your mobile phone? In a small restaurant near the police station. Brother Zhou, since you like money, why not be an official? Guo Zheng looked at Zhou Yu, his face didn't seem to be joking. There were a few policemen who were drinking and eating in the small restaurant. After hearing it, they couldn't help but looked over here. Zhou Yu has seen a lot of police officers today, even those who are wearing police uniforms or those who are not wearing police uniforms, so the immunity is slightly stronger. I'm just eating now, so I am naturally not afraid of them. But Guo Zheng's words made Zhou Yu feel like a joke. It's such an easy thing to be an official. Zhou Yu continued to look down and watch videos on her mobile phone, without taking Guo Zheng's words to heart. Guo Chao was silent, and he didn't seem to be in a good mood. Guo Zhen said, to be honest, we don't like selling art to others. I also know that Brother Zhou is short of money. Why don't we go to the north to find a place to build a city and open a village? By then, you will be the lord of the city. The policeman at a nearby table squinted while drinking. At least until now, there is no evidence to catch these 3 people, and bragging is not against the law. Zhou Yu thought that this person was joking, and said with a smile, what era is this? Where is there a place for us to build a city? You think you are playing a game? Guo Zheng explained, we are 500 people from 3 deserted villages. If we gather together, it is not impossible to find the court to build an administrative village on a deserted suburban site. Little brother Zhou, 500 people, not a small number anymore. Guo Zheng looked at Zhou Yu, and he hoped that Zhou Yu could do something big. Zhou Yu was taken aback, and quickly raised his head to look at Guo Zheng. You mean, 500 of you elected me as the village chief? Guo Zheng nodded and said, almost. Zhou Yu said with a smile, no, I am that piece of material. And 500 of you choose me, isn't this cheating? Guo Chao said dully, that's how the village chief of this place was chosen. Zhou Yu thought Guo Chao was too naive, and said with a smile, of course not. To be a village head, you must first be rich. I have no money. Guo Chao said dully, what do you want money for? Buy people's hearts. Zhou Yu said quickly, you don't understand what's inside, it's not that simple. Guo Chao said, but you don't need to do anything extra? We definitely won't choose the second person. Zhou Yu showed a puzzled expression, and it took a few seconds to react, as if that was the reason. Forget it, I think it's a good place here. It's a big city. If we go to build a village on the grassland, won't we be out of touch with this bustling world? Zhou Yu refused decisively. Even if he hadn't experienced the life of a superior person in the Magic City, he still understood that the Magic City and the grassland were two worlds. Guo Zheng said, "We just came out of the police station. I think that Chief Cao didn't want us to stay here. Don't worry about him, he is not the only chief in Demon City." After Zhou Yu left the police station, his words became hardened. Guo Zheng thought for a while and said, "Should we get in here, get a local account, and then recommend you to be the director of the neighborhood committee?" Haha. Zhou Yu smiled, "You don't understand, this is not selected, it has already been decided by default." Guo Zheng said, "Then what if we insist on choosing you?" Zhou Yu said with a smile, "Do you think the Hyukao here is so easy to get? I calculated when I was bored, and based on my current salary, it would take at least 200 years to be naturalized. For 200 years, don't talk about me, you will be gone. This is not ancient times. It's not that simple to get into the Magic City and become a local." Zhou Yu looked down at the phone again. Guo Zheng thought for a moment, "It's really difficult." Zhou Yu smiled and said, "Yes, I don't want to be an official either. It's not that stuff, neither are you." "That's true." Guo Zheng nodded and approved Zhou Yu's words. Guo Chao looked at Zhou Yu, "Then what shall we do next?" "Make money." Zhou Yu said casually, "I will pull the rest of the people into the group later, and give me 100 yuan a month from now on. You can spend the rest of the money by yourself. There is no need to keep it, and you can't bring it anyway. Go." Guo Zheng thought for a while, and said, "I think the path that I said one after another is okay. Since being an internet celebrity can make money, then find someone to be an internet celebrity with Zhou." Guo Zheng said, "It's okay if Guo Chao doesn't want to, I don't want to, but there must be people among us who can accept this kind of thing." After Guo Chao heard this, he did not object. Although it is disgraceful to make money in performing arts, it is not a dishonest thing. If you are really shy, even Guo Chao would do it. Zhou Yu thought about it after hearing it, "Forget it, I think it's pretty good now." One person gave him 100 yuan a month, and now Zhou Yu's monthly salary of 4,000 yuan plus an additional income of 50,000 yuan a month, this is a successful person. It's useless to tell Zhou Yu big things, and it's useless to know it with affection. This guy is just cowardly and timid. Lascivious and courageous, unpredictable, unbreakable, fragile in heart and weak in body. The two Guojing couldn't convince Zhou Yu. If they were replaced by two Huangrong, I'm afraid Zhou Yu would become a worm. If Guojing educates Zhou Yu with the majesty of the elders to the younger ones, Zhou Yu would certainly not resist, and listen honestly. The bad thing is that these people regard Zhou Yu as a benefactor, and naturally they will not persecute Zhou Yu. But Zhou Yu is the kind of pig that can't move without being forced or tempted. The three of them left after eating, and the police at the next table did not stop these people. www.mtlnovel.com. They already knew the existence of these three people from the internal chat group. When Zhou Yu and Guo Zheng returned to the community, an old lady walked over at the door. "Brother Guo, where have you been? I can't find you after looking for you for a long time, and you won't answer if you call." The old lady looked at Guo Zheng complainingly, but she was obviously not angry. Zhou Yu curiously said, "Guo Zheng, why don't you wear a security uniform?" The old grandma frowned and stared at Zhou Yu with an unhappy face. "When are you the little security guard? What's the matter with you here?" Zhou Yu said uncomfortably, "I am the security guard here, and he is also a security guard. I asked him why he didn't wear a uniform. It's none of your business, right? Dare to bully the honest brother Guo?" The old grandma stretched out angrily and pointed at Zhou Yu, "I'm the owner of this place. You little security guard, don't want to do it, do you? I will pull people in the group immediately and vote for you." Zhou Yu was taken aback. Shit, it's not at all. Isn't this too democratic? Guo Zheng explained, this is a person from our village, and we are all here to discuss life in the magic city. Wu Xiaomei, take care of it. When Wu Keifeng heard that it was Guo Zheng's junior, she quickly smiled and said, why didn't Guo brother say it earlier? This is Iwu and Wu, right? Zhou Yu was numb with Xiu's scalp, and soon went back to duty. After arriving in the duty room, lie down and connect the charger to the mobile phone. A new storm is coming, let's lie down and play a game. At night, Zhou Yu had a dream in which he interacted with several female anchors. Just as he hugged a female anchor's waist, he woke up from the dream. It's decided. Be an internet celebrity.